Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, here is the North Carolina Retired Government Employees Association website. Now, if you will look in the big red area, there's these little things. We call these links. They take you to different places, either within the website or on other websites. Now, right now, there is no link for the live YouTube. However, on the day of the webinar, there will be a link like one of these up here that say YouTube live webinar. And all you'll have to do is click on it, and then things will start to happen. And we're going to try to explain those to you. But so we can show you and get you prepared for it, we have put a live link on this website. If you look right down here, this says live YouTube webinar. So let's click on it and see what happens. Okay, it takes us to a live broadcast. Now you'll notice that on this page, what you can't do is chat. If you would like to ask somebody a question during the broadcast, well, you can't do that unless you log in. Now we're going to tell you how to do that. To sign in to chat, you just click on this icon or this link, and it's going to take you to this page. Now here's where I'm going to have to do a little bit of explaining. To actually sign in, you're going to have a Google account. If you do not have one, that's okay. We can get you one right here. And this is why it's a good idea to go ahead and take care of this now instead of waiting until the webinar date, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say use another account, create an account. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create an account for myself. Okay, now here's that screen. It's not going to be too complicated, and you can follow along with me. I'm going to just make up an email address that, well, you'll see. You can use your name, whatever you want to use here. I'm going to use my father's name. Oop. Nope, 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 nope. Well, dang it. All right, here is the link. If you look down here, you can see live YouTube webinar. So we're going to click on it, see what happens. That's not going to work. Okay, if you look on the page now, this is the page we've set up just so we can teach you how to do this. We're going to click on the link that says live YouTube webinar. See what happens. It's still logging in. All right. Okay, here's a page that we have set up so we can demonstrate how to get yourself logged into the live YouTube webinar. Now, here's a link that's going to be similar to the one that's going to be found on the North Carolina Retired Government Employees Association page on the day of the webinar. It's going to say something like live YouTube webinar. Just click on it. That brings up this page. Now everything is fine and dandy here because now you can watch the webinar, whatever. Except if you want to ask a question. If you try to chat, it's not going to let you chat unless you sign in. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do here. Sign in to chat. Okay. We're not going to use this account. We're gonna let's matter of fact, let's just remove account. Okay. So now there's nothing in the box. If you already have a Google account, you can put in your email or phone number here. If not, you're going to have to create an account. Okay, here we are on the North Carolina Retired Government Employees Association webpage. Now, if you look up here in the red area, you can see several. These are links in these little boxes, these little, whatever you want to call them. These are called links. Now, on the day of the webinar, there's going to be another one that says live YouTube webinar, okay? Or live YouTube broadcast. It's not here now, so we can't show it to you. But on the day of the broadcast, it's going to be here. You say, well, how are you going to teach us? Well, that's simple. I have made another website that has right here something that you will be looking for the day of the webinar. Live YouTube webinar. All you have to do is click it, and there you have it. You are on the YouTube page, and you will be able to watch the webinar. However, if you would like to ask a question of one of the presenters, you can't do that over here unless you sign in to chat. Now, if you have a Google account, no problem. All you got to do is put in your Google address and you're off to the races. If you do not have a Google account, no problem. I'm going to teach you how to make one. So we're going to remove that account, or we're just going to, I tell you what, let's just use another account. We're going to create a new account for myself. Okay, so here we go. At this point, now you can just put in your name. I'm going to put in my father's name, Morris Mace. Now, if I was to try that, that is already taken, so I can't use Morris Mace 2020. And if I just try to put in Morris Mace, that's not going to let me do that either. That's already taken. So I have to come up with something that is unique. So in this case, you may be able to put your first and last name in and it'll be fine. If you get the already used, then you got to get a little creative. I'm going to say Morris Mace 1934, since that's when he was born. And see if that'll let me. Nope, that one's taken too. So let's try Morris Mace 1906. That was his address. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot something here. Morris Mace 1934, important part, at gmail.com. So here is where we're going to make your Google account. for this purpose, I'm going to use my father's name, Morris, Mace. And it's going to create a new Gmail address. So let's try Morris Mace. Morrismace. And that says can't use it, it's taken by another. All right, it says I can use Morris Mace 95, Morris Mace 7, Morris Mace 825. My problem is I probably wouldn't remember any of those. So I'm going to say Morris Mace 1934, the year he was born. And it says that one is taken. I can't use it. All right, let's try Morris Mace 1906. That one is fine. 1906 was his address. Ha 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 ha. So now we got to make up a password, make up anything you'd like. Just remember to remember it. 60. We're going to do that again. 60. Now, a phone number you don't have to put in. A recovery email you don't have to have. Your birthday, I'm just going to say January 1 of 1934. Gender, rather not say. Then just hit next. Scroll down, hit I agree. Save password. And now you're able to chat. Create channel. Okay, here we go. All right, here we are on the North Carolina Retired Governmental Employees Association website. Now, if you look at this red area here, you're going to see these little boxes. These are called links. Now, on the day of the webinar, there is going to be a link in place that says Live YouTube. It could be Live YouTube webinar, but you will know it when you see it. And it's not going to be here until the day of the webinar. So what are we going to do? Well, what I have done is I have taken the link or a link that will work and put it on a different website so we could use it. Here is the Live YouTube webinar. Now, if you click on it, it's going to open up and you'll be able to watch the webinar with no problems. The only thing is, if you try to chat, if you wanted to ask a question, it's going to make you sign in. Now, the only way to sign in is if you already have a Google account. We'll click on it, say sign in to chat, and this is what you get. If you don't already have a Google account, well, I'm going to show you how to make one. So I'm going to take and remove these. Yes, remove. Remove account. Yes, remove. So now we have a blank slate here. Now, if you already got a Gmail account, you can use that and go ahead and sign in. Just put in your email, and then they'll ask you for a new password, and you can follow the prompts from there. If you do not have a Google account, this is what you do. Down here it says create account. For yourself, that's fine. So we're going to make one, or I'm going to make one, and I'm going to use my dad's name, Morris Mace, Morris, Morris Mace. Now, when I click password or email, it's going to ask me for an email account. So I'm going to have it click right here. It says create a new Gmail address instead, since I don't have an email account. All right, now I'm going to type in Morris Mace. And it's going to tell me that's already used. It gives me some suggestions down here. Now, if you can remember the number on the end, that's great. Just use one. This one's Morris Mace 46. We'll click on that. Now we make up a password. And please remember this password, because you may need it again. Jot it down somewhere. Make up a password. Do it again. Hit next. Oops, it didn't match. Now, don't have to put in a phone number if you don't want to. Don't have to put in a recovery address if you don't want to. Your birthday, I always, if you don't want to tell me your real birthday, I just put January 1 and pick a year, 1934. Gender, I'd rather not say. Now, here's the thing. When you click this next button, you got to scroll down to the bottom and say, I agree. You can also tell it to save your password up here. I agree. Now, you're not quite done yet. Now it says say something. It says you got to create a chat channel, or you got to create a channel to join. That's easy enough. You just click that. It'll come up with your name right there. Say create channel. Now there's nothing here. What do you do? Well, if you look right here, this back arrow right here up in the upper left hand corner, okay, just click it once, click it twice, and you are back. And if you notice now, I have a name here, Morris Mace. Say something. So now you can ask a question. How high is up? And it pops up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you not only join in on the webinar, but now you can be an active participant by chatting.